Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Warp, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast where we do unasked for audio commentaries of Star Trek episodes. My name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
Minwin.
I'm me.
Welcome, everybody. And today we're not watching an episode of Star Trek. We're watching a movie.
Yes.
So we've been in the middle of season 2 of Next Generation, but today it's a little treat because for those of you who haven't listened to the first few episodes of this podcast, the whole point is to watch every iteration of Star Trek by chronological order of air date and or release date. And this happens to be right in the middle of season 2 of Next Generation. We're watching Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Yes.
Going back to the original cast.
We haven't seen the gang in a while.
It's been, yeah. The last time we saw them, what were they doing, Aaron?
Saving the whales.
Saving the whales.
Oh, I can't believe you got it right. That's amazing.
I knew she'd know
It's
the
because
answer.
we talked about it last week.
Good job, Aaron.
That's great.
You're welcome, guys.
Seems like a while since we've been with our friends, but we're back again. So we're watching it on Amazon Prime today. Yeah. And I got an hour, 46 minutes, and 27 seconds on the clock. And I'm punching the triangle.
No, don't punch the triangle yet. Don't punch the triangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to set this up. We need
a
little bit of context.
Yeah. Little context.
We're doing this in 2 parts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing
This is the first part. We're watching the first half of the movie, and then next week we'll watch the second half of the movie.
All right. That's for the audience.
Here's a little context for
Context Corner.
Especially, I think we'll find this interesting, or maybe not. I don't know. Okay, it's 1987, and Leonard Nimoy has just directed what? Aaron?
The one with the whales?
The one with the whales, that's right. He directed the one before that, too. He directed Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 4. And Star Trek 4 was a big hit, so obviously they were like, well, we're going to make another one. And Leonard Nimoy says to William Shatner that they have what's called a favored nations clause in their contracts, going all the way back to the old show, back to the 60s. They had this thing in each of their contracts called a favored nations clause, which basically said anything that one of them got, the other one got. So if Shatner got a raise, Nimoy got a raise. If Nimoy got a larger trailer, Shatner got a larger trailer. And they had this clause in their contract all the way through, up to and including the movie era. So Nimoy says to Shatner, Bill, because of this favored nations clause and because I've directed now 2 movies, you could go to Paramount and basically insist that you direct a Star Trek movie because you have this thing in your contract. And so that is exactly what he did. He went to Paramount. He said, I want to direct Star Trek V. I imagine there was probably a frantic meeting with Paramount's lawyers where they had to look at the contract.
Like, shit, that's what
they really do this
means. Thought it was some UN shit.
And had he directed anything before this?
He had never directed a feature film. Wow. This is his one and only.
Had he directed TV at this point in time?
I think he had directed
a commercial.
I think he.
Mutual Oklahoma.
They were probably like, this guy can't direct a lunch buffet. How are we going to put him in charge of a movie?
Direct it. He's taken it over. He is the lunch buffet.
He can dictator it.
So anyway, they looked it up and they were like, "Yep, that's sure enough. That's what it says." So they told him, "All right, Bill, Star Trek V is yours. Go off and come up with a story and come back when you've got one." And he did.
Balls back in your court, dude.
Yeah.
They were like, "He'll never do it."
So this movie is like a real labor of love, I think, for William Shatner, because he came up with the storyline and hired a writer, found a screenwriter, hired some guy to write the screenplay, and it was all sort of his baby from the very beginning, from the concept on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We will talk as we get underway about some of the things that went wrong along the way.
Nothing.
Hey, I guess first time,
Yeah, Shatner gets a story credit on the movie.
First time and last, actually, because he never directed another movie. He's directed a couple of documentary movies about Star Trek, but he's never directed another feature film after this one. It was kind of a fiasco for reasons that we'll get into.
Sweet.
So good movie, bad movie, movie.
Let's start it.
Yes.
Do you want to start it? We ready to start?
We'll find out. Yeah.
I just wanted to give a little bit of a background.
Oh, I appreciated that.
Context corner, always my favorite part of the show.
So let's go ahead and punch the triangle, Sean.
I got 1 hour, 46 minutes, 27 seconds on the clock, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Yeah.
Based on all that context, I now know that this movie turned out to be exactly how it should have been. It explains everything.
Yeah, it's very much directed by Shatner. Like,
oh man,
he's very much. So this one is now. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Do any of the other movies, Matt, have a cold open, or do they all go straight to credits?
I think they all start with the credits, right?
Oh, this is the first one. I think that's right, at least at this point.
Oh, look how cinematic
it is. You guys are right that it is very much a Shatner. It's a very Kirk-centered movie, even more than usual. Nimoy and DeForest Kelley have good parts. The rest of the cast really got the short end of the stick in terms of screen time. Scotty gets a couple of silly things to do. Uhura does a naked dance in the desert.
What?
Yep.
Sulu and Chekhov pretty much get nothing in this movie.
But according to George Takei, he thought that Shatner did a really good job with the movie. That they had a lot of time constraints that were put on them by Paramount, and that he did a really good job of making everybody sort of happy, and he did a good job of keeping the set really friendly and nice and upbeat and energetic.
I mean, it's his first one. I mean, dude, he ended up with a movie. That's just a goal there. That's victory.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, one more movie than I've ever directed.
Yeah, but you have to imagine this is Shatner, who has probably a Kirk ego, and
well, he definitely has that.
I mean, the fact that he just explode and they're just like, shut it down, no more. I mean, they came out on the other side. Yeah.
He definitely made
supposed to be the last movie, Matt?
Was this supposed to, what? No.
Was this supposed to be the last movie?
No. Why?
No, they always say just because it's called The Final Frontier. I was wondering if that was
that's because.
Is that Sean Connery? No.
Okay.
It looks like it. I want it to be like some weird Mad Max spin-off.
To answer your questions from earlier, the rap on Shatner was always that he was kind of a huge egomaniac, even going back to the old show. Which is why none of them got along with him except for Nimoy. It was really he was friends with with Leonard Nimoy, but not really friends with anybody else on the show because he was an egomaniac. And the rumor always, who knows if it's true or not, was that he would count his lines to make sure that he had more lines than, Leonard Nimoy, and because didn't want to be upstaged because Spock was kind of the breakout character, and I think Shatner was a little bit jealous that Kirk was not everybody loved Spock. So anyway, the rap on him for 50 years now has been that he's a raging egomaniac, and that's why George Takei famously hated him, and that's why he didn't want to do this movie, because he was like, oh God, he's already an asshole. Imagine an asshole with the power of director, Yeah. So, but apparently, according to everybody, Sean's right, according to everybody, they had a good time making this movie. Everybody got along. So that's nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Takei has famously said that he was supposed to have gotten a captainship in the second movie, but that Shatner made it so that he couldn't do that, and he doesn't get it until it's the sixth movie. That was one of Takei's big complaints always.
Man, it's funny that you asked if this was Sean Connery, because that's who they wanted to play this part.
That's a good poor man's Sean Connery.
Could not get him. So they got this guy, whose name is Lawrence Luckinbill.
Yeah.
He's been in a million things. He's mostly famous, I think, because he's married to Lucy Arnaz, Lucy and Desi's daughter.
Wow. That's
so crazy. He's got this weird connection to TV royalty, He's married Lucy's daughter.
Well, and to Star Trek too.
Yeah, and to Star Trek too. So that's
there
the
you go.
deal, that he's a Vulcan. Oh, what's a Vulcan doing on this weird planet? Dun dun dun.
So we're watching Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. The release date is
June 5th.
June 9th. I've got June 9th.
June 9th.
Captain Kirk and his crew must deal with Mr. Spock's long-lost half-brother, who hijacks the Enterprise for an obsessive search for God at the center of the galaxy. Aaron, what do you think the IMDb rating of this film is?
Did you watch it, Aaron?
No.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
6.
Ooh.
6.
May, you watched it 6. You're gonna go 6 as well.
Ooh.
If I get this right, it may be because I'm remembering it from seeing it, but 5.5.
Ooh.
5.5 is correct.
Okay.
What?
Okay, that wasn't real. I think I just remembered seeing it.
Yeah.
Wow, not very high at all.
I think it's the lowest rated movie on IMDb.
Oh, it's got to be.
Is that Yosemite? Sure. That's Yosemite.
It is Yosemite.
Yeah.
It is. Right there.
This had some fun bits.
Oh, I see Alex Honnold.
The thing about this is Shatner did what Shatner liked about the original show. So it's a lot of running and jumping and a lot of jokes. Which I think is what Shatner liked about the original series.
Oh, what are these Renaissance pants he's wearing?
That's how you know it's the future, because his climbing pants. His climbing pants are futuristic.
Yeah, this is our first suspension of disbelief as an audience. To think that somebody that looks like William Shatner could be a rock climber.
Yeah, the bloat factor is pretty high in this movie.
Ooh.
I think the highest it's been so far.
Man,
which makes sense.
Crack climbing. Look at that.
Yeah, you know how in the Mission Impossible movies they always make it a point to show you Tom Cruise's face so that you know it's really him. You do not see William Shatner's face in these moments where he's meant to be free climbing El Capitan.
Speaking of that, I watched Ghost Protocol the other day.
Yeah, that's
my God. That is fucking nuts that he's climbing on the outside of the Burj Dubai building.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he's got huge amounts of safety.
I understand, but it's still fucking nuts.
I like that movie. That was a fun.
That's great. That was great.
There's not a bad Mission Impossible movie.
Whoa!
It's
What?
not.
I haven't seen the new one.
Come on. There's bad ones. The one with
2?
Mission Impossible movies are the shit, man.
They're the milk toast.
I love the first one, and I hadn't seen any but until I watched Ghost Protocol, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
But I saw 2, and I didn't particularly like for 2.
Yeah, 2 wasn't great, but they're still fun to watch. I mean, you're not mad you watched it.
Yeah. There's always fun sequences, and now it's what can we do to make Tom Cruise die quicker?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
That's the plan.
Absolutely nothing.
You can't kill that man.
Yeah.
You just make him stronger.
Although he is shirtless quite a bit in Ghost Protocol, so I'm guessing men wouldn't like it very much.
That's probably the movie that I was revolted. Oh, look at that nice. That's probably the floor he's climbing on, not a wall. And they just rotate.
There it is, directed by.
Yeah,
well, there's our good friend
shot.
Dr. McCoy.
He looks like a Romulan.
Those are future binoculars.
Yes.
I want to know more about this conversation where Nimoy's I want to know how much alcohol was involved in the conversation. If he was drunk whispering it in his ear, how did this conversation go down? And how much did he regret?
I don't think there were any regrets, too. But I think that's a good question there, Aaron.
I mean, they were friends in real life, so I'm sure he was just saying it to be like, wouldn't it be fun for you to direct a movie? You should direct a movie. You can, and you can.
What is that weird smut on Kirk's face? Is that his 5 o'clock shadow?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be.
Because they're out in the camping, so they're rugging it.
I love that Nimoy's just floating there.
Yeah, he's got his floaty boots.
He's got his floaty boots on.
Yes.
I love their outdoor wear. It's great.
The outdoor camp gear is pretty funny.
The lime green shoulder elbow pads on Spock's tunic there.
Good for visibility.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is he going to fall?
Mm-hmm.
That rock looks super fake. That's pretty hilarious.
So the way that they filmed this is that Shatner is lying on the ground and the camera has been tilted 90 degrees. Yeah,
I was right.
Yeah.
And
Nimoy is being suspended.
He's taking a nap on the ground.
So the wires are actually coming off of Nimoy to the right.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That seems like such trouble. Oh, bye, Kirk. No.
Now there's some shabby.
So the special effects are pretty rough in this movie.
This might be my favorite.
We'll talk about that when we get closer to the ending.
And it's interesting because
I'm lagging too on my side, so it's kind of hilarious. It's like
it's like stop motion.
Uh-huh. It's making it better.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting about every 40th frame or so.
Yep. Great.
It's fine.
It's fine on mine.
Yeah.
Well, we're all getting
Yeah. This is the Star Wars Cantina. They're the Star Trek version of it.
Like the cat.
Is this the origin of Cat, Star Trek woman?
No, because we already saw her back in the cartoon.
Yeah.
No, this is the origin of the Cats movie.
It might be supposed to be the same species, but this one's got three boobs.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a 3-boob cat before.
They should 3 boobs.
Well, cats.
Now we know where Paul Verhoeven got the idea for Total Recall.
What? Wait, what? Really? This came before?
Oh. Yeah, this would have been before Total Recall.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think 3 boobs kind of originated collectively in like all horny nerds during this.
I never.
It was
fantasized about 3 boobs. Okay.
Who's this actress? I never looked her up.
No one of real consequence.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bird.
Ooh.
Is that?
No one.
Is she also now dead?
Cynthia Gao. That's her name.
That sounds right.
That sounds like
She's most known for this movie.
Yeah, she became a She became like a TV journalist. Like she's on like the local news in some city now. I forget where. I looked her up the other day.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Everyone lives the life.
Do a whole lot.
She's got a strong jaw.
She's got like 8 titles.
Yeah, unlike yeah. She should have joined us on Warped. Then she'll be memorialized for eternity.
Yeah, the most famous of the guest stars is David Warner, who plays the human here.
the British dude.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I've seen him in things.
He is the bad guy in Tron and the bad guy in Time Bandits.
Oh, Time Bandits. That's right.
And we'll see him again in Star Trek 6, playing a completely different character.
Yep.
I can't get over the Klingon zipper head.
I know. It's like a football.
Yeah, it's distracting.
Mm-hmm.
So what is going on right now, Matt? Can you give us some more context?
I can give you a little plot setup if you want. So there's this planet out in the middle of nowhere that's called the Nimbus 3. And the idea of it when it was first colonized was that the Federation and the Klingons and the Romulans, all three, would sort of share the responsibility for this planet. It was meant to be like a
Peace
sort of
planet.
a symbol of the peace between
a neutral zone.
Yeah, sort of like the neutral zone. So that's who those three people are. They are the three ambassadors. One's from the Federation, one's Klingon, and the woman is Romulan. Mm-hmm. And so, but it didn't really work out. Like, it didn't become the beacon of peace in the universe that they were hoping it would be. So it's not kind of turned into a shithole, as you can see. Mm-hmm. And now this guy, this Vulcan dude, has kind of like rounded up the natives who are trying to eke out a living on this planet, and they've taken these guys hostage for reasons that we do not yet have not yet been told.
Okay, thank you. That really is helpful.
Yeah,
dude, that woman's makeup is on fleek.
Yeah,
is that how you?
I like it too.
Yeah.
She is given quite an eye there.
She accentuates her pointed eyebrows very well with the mascara.
Mm-hmm. I feel like she could have been in that that 80s samurai movie with the what was it called? Fuck, it was with the black actors, Shogun. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah. The Last Dragon?
The Last Dragon. Yeah, I feel like she could have been in The Last Dragon.
So anyway, what's been happening on the Enterprise, Aaron, is that at the end of the last movie, after they saved the whales, they were given a brand new ship, because they had blown up the Enterprise earlier. So they got a brand new Enterprise, and at the end of that movie, Kirk says, "Let's see what she can do," and they zoom off. This is now showing you what happened, which is that the new Enterprise is a lemon. It's a junker. So Scotty has been spending all this time since the last movie trying to get the ship running, which is why Kirk and the boys are down on the planet. They've been on vacation. They're just waiting for Scotty to like fix the ship so that.
Oh man, I need a vacation.
Yeah.
So that's why they're out camping together, because they don't have anything else to do.
Did you see those guys had their feet up on the console earlier?
What I saw is that Uhura just brought Scotty some Chex Mix. That's what I saw.
She also gave him a pretty nice cheek caress.
You saw that?
There's a very weird sexual subplot in this movie between Scotty and Uhura.
Hell yeah.
Guys,
is there? I mean, I watched this, but I don't remember.
Oh yeah. And later on in the movie, there's definitely a moment between the two of them.
Oh, well, we talked earlier.
She just had a moment. She just rubbed his cheek.
Another moment.
Yeah, I was like, she's bringing in food.
We've left so the three, the two white guys and the Vulcan are all good, but they let the minorities get lost.
Did you see the weird caress that Chekhov gave to Sulu earlier? Was it just me?
I think that was just you, man.
That was just you,
okay.
Man.
I don't know.
Just you and certain corners of the internet.
That was a dream you guys had.
Yeah. I got to represent here. Look, they're in wood, surrounded by wood. I think it's symbolic, guys. But we were talking earlier about weird relationship things between close groups of friends. So
sure, but I don't think Sulu and Chekhov. I mean, I'm sure that there is Sulu Chekhov /fic out there in the world for sure.
I mean, they could have a Brokeback moment.
You ain't gonna break this back. It's fine. Go, Daddy.
It is kind of funny that in 50 years of basically of these characters, you never really learn anything about Chekhov's personal life.
No,
he's just the Russian guy who's on the ship. These scenes where they're camping are kind of the most charming part of the entire movie.
It is. Yep.
Yeah. The one thing that this movie gets right is the relationship between these three. It's the best part of the movie is the relationship between these three guys. Mm-hmm. And it is. Everyone else kind of, like I said, gets the short end of the script.
Yeah.
This time around.
Yeah, I could see how these three actors specifically could have like a really strong bond just in real life, and you know, like they're holidaying together and whatnot, having drinks together,
ice fishing.
They talk in this scene about the fact that they don't have anybody else. Like they are each other's family, right?
Oh.
They don't. That's why they go on vacation together, because they don't have anybody else to go on vacation with.
Very sweet.
Basically,
I feel like,
but not in like a sad, we're lonely way.
Yeah.
Well, that was
they're in a nice, like, we're all family way.
Spacism?
Yeah, they get some good old fashioned. There's some good old fashioned Vulcans are creepy from McCoy. And
I mean, it's like the entire every word McCoy says is like, "You're a crazy green devil."
Yeah.
But they love each other, and they're camping together, right?
Yes,
so
both those things are true.
A devil you love.
That's like our vices right there. I feel like the one thing this scene is missing is Mongo.
What's a Mongo?
Is that a Chris Kattan character?
No, from
you got it.
Blazing Saddles.
There you go. Mongo.
When they're all sitting around eating
the
beans.
campfire eating beans. Yeah. I know they're trying to have a sweet.
I got you, man.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks. You, man.
Nice. The only one.
What a Mongo is.
This is a nice, sweet scene, man.
I'm sorry. I'm such a weirdo.
So, what do you think of Shatner's toupee in this one?
Hold up, let me get closer to the screen.
It is also dark, so
yeah, this is you'll see it better later on.
All right,
you got some good shots of it.
It's very Kirk Cameron.
I think he looks good. He's almost
he looks
60
young.
years old. You know, he was like 59 years old.
Group, I would say Sulu and Nimoy like the best.
What? Sulu?
Sulu looks the best. When I first saw it, I didn't know it was Sulu. I thought it was just some actor.
Well, I think Nichelle Nichols still looks pretty good.
She does, but she definitely looks older because they've made a point to make her hair gray and stuff.
Well, her hair
Sulu looks almost like the same.
It is weird. It is weird that her hair is gray in this movie because it's never been gray before, and it won't be. It won't be in the next one. So this was like a one-time experiment where they were like, "What if Uhura just lets her hair go gray naturally?" And then they were like, "Nope, back to black."
Do you think that was her idea or their idea?
I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. I'm sure she wouldn't have agreed to it if she didn't want to. So she must have approved it in one way or another.
That makes sense.
This is one of those classic things where they're like, we need to sing a campfire song. Let's name two real songs and one that's like the space voyages of Captain Crazy Pants or whatever.
Yes,
so that you know it's the future.
So row your boat.
Yeah.
So they sing row, row, row your boat. They've gotten a little drunk. They've been drinking whiskey and eating beans. And they're having a good old time.
Shatner almost died from falling off of Capitan.
That device that that Spock makes the marshmallow come out of, he's got a marshmallow dispenser. Did you guys see him extrude the marshmallow from that device? So they made those in real life as toys for kids.
Nice.
And so you had to put marshmallows in too.
There's some more spacism right there.
Yeah.
Drink, everybody, drink.
Yeah. He really leaned into it too.
You could actually get these. They were made by Kraft. Which also they make the marshmallows, right? So you could get one of these machines, and you had to put a battery in it, and
it would just pump marshmallow.
Load it up with your marshmallows, and when you pushed a button, a marshmallow would come out. I mean, that's how not toyetic this movie is. Like, that's the one thing they could find that they were like, maybe this can be a toy. Like,
they were no Lucas.
There's nothing else in this movie that lends itself to
becoming a toy.
Yeah. How many slash fic things you think are based on.
Now they'd have like 9. Now they'd have 9 different things in there that were meant to be merchandised.
Yeah.
These weren't really kids' movies.
I was like, please send this toy. Thank you. I love it.
All right, so now we're meeting the Klingons.
Oh no!
And this guy has got a great look.
Oh yeah, he does. He's like a little heavy metal / Klingon.
He looks vaguely like Dee Snider in all the Twisted Sister videos, but with black hair.
Looks like
you're kind of right.
Got all his wigs at CVS.
Yeah, you're right. I love it. It's cool. And that satellite was supposed to be the original satellite that we launched way back when to go out into the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
He's taking target practice at it.
Or one of them anyway, because
it can't be Voyager.
It can't be Voyager because Voyager became Voyager. And so we already know what happened to Voyager.
Oh my God, those graphics.
Yeah. So maybe we can talk. Maybe we can talk about the special effects.
Look at that woman in back. Jesus.
Starting to become an issue. She's pretty great too in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is she like I feel like she was maybe like a female wrestler in real life that they cast in this movie.
I love it.
Her name was Spice Williams Crosby.
Damn. Sean, you are on it right now.
That's her name.
Spice Williams Crosby.
Born on a ranch in North Hollywood, California.
It's Denise Crosby's mom, right?
No.
Thought that was the connection.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is really. I like this guy. He's really owning that role and that outfit, that look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Captain, damn it! Not another butt probe. Not tonight.
They don't even have a tent. They just are sleeping outdoors on the ground.
Budget cuts.
I was saying, I wonder how many /fic stories there are of this scene out in the ether. The 3 men camping together.
No.
Then Uhura shows up.
Yeah, that just feels super dirty.
Airtight.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, would you read something like that?
No.
Yeah, right? But Sean
I don't know why you singled me out to ask the question, but
Yeah, a bunch of prudes, apparently. I didn't realize.
Prudes?
I got nothing against porn. I'm just not into Kirk, Spock, McCoy. Three-way around the campfire.
With a later visit by, Uhura.
That is very specific.
I'm just saying, I'll bet
that
a lot of it
is very specific. All fanfic is
That's the only type of porn I'm not into, is that type of porn.
Sure. Row your boat, right? Just keep singing. Well,
so here's the backstory on the special effects. Industrial Light and Magic, which had done all of the movies up until this one, was busy working on other movies, which we'll talk about when we get to the box office game. They were working on some other movies that were very big in the summer of 1989. And so they were not available to do the special effects on this movie.
And it shows.
So they went out and found a sort of up-and-coming special effects company.
Industrial Boxing and Manufacture. It's like the second best.
The Four Seasons.
And so they hired this company that had never done a movie like this before. They were mostly, I think, known for doing commercials, but they came in with, I'm sure, a very low bid, and they got the job. And what ended up happening was that they had sort of overpromised and couldn't deliver. And so they ran out of money, and Shatner had to go to Paramount and say, I need more money or I can't make this movie look good. And Paramount basically said, no, you can't have any more money. So that's one of the reasons that the special effects look so janky, is that they didn't have the money to do them right. And the company that they hired was not really able to execute
these
what they
elevators look different. Yeah, like the ship is like an analogy for the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it flies, but it doesn't work completely right.
So that right there is Melanie Shatner. That's his daughter.
Oh.
Playing the yeoman there.
I want to say that the ship being broken is their justification for like no scene for the rest of this movie being lit properly.
And this is one of the Klingon lady that we saw in the last scene. Kim Cattrall auditioned for that part, but didn't get it. But she'll eventually get a part in the next movie.
She'll be in the next one.
Go climb a rock. Yeah, Shatner.
So Shatner is being told about the problem on the planet with the ambassadors being held hostage. And they want him to go out and deal with it. And Shatner's like, I don't know if you've noticed, but this ship is falling apart around us. And he's like, sorry, but you're the best guy in Starfleet. So you're the only person who can handle this situation. Their usual excuse is you're the only ship in the area. This time they flip it and they're like, you're the only captain who's good enough to take care of this problem.
He should be complimented. He should feel good about that.
I think he looks great for 59 years old.
Yeah.
He looked better in the camp light, you know, like now it's like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, well, I gotta go.
Yeah, a dim light is best. We were talking about this last night. Ming came by last night for a socially distanced visit, and I don't have a ton of lighting in my living room because I like it kind of dim. And I was like, it's because it's flattering. the dimmer the light, the better you look.
Yeah, like those houses that have the modern, like high tech fancy lighting that just blasts like that clinical, light. I don't.
Yeah,
like that.
the like 7-Eleven lighting. I don't like it either.
What?
It's not just because like whoever may look good. It's also just I don't know, just easier on my eyes.
Yeah,
I have it like
Shatner. They're wearing Levi's in this scene, which was one of the few promotional things that ever show up in Starfleet in Star Trek because. Usually it's, because it's set in the future, you can't really do brand placement, but they are wearing Levi's in this.
Look at the
Levi survives.
Yeah, man.
Levi's exists in the 23rd century.
Damn, that woman just, God, she's killing it.
She looks great. She doesn't get as much to do as you might like. I would have liked to have seen more of her, but she doesn't get a ton.
The Klingons go away for a long, long time in this movie.
Yeah, they don't
just sort of show up at the end.
Yeah, they're just kind of lurking in the background as a threat. Like they don't really do much until basically the end.
Well, they're killing it with what little they've been given.
So he's like, okay, this thing's broken too. Just take it.
Why is the notebook broken though? It's not part of the ship.
I don't know. Nothing works on the ship. Even stuff that was working fine before they brought it onto the ship breaks as soon as they bring it onto the ship. That book was working fine right before they brought it onto the ship.
Yeah. That's what, when you don't have ILM on set, that's what you get. Everything just broken down. These outfits are totally different, too. Like, they're velvety. They've got different ornamentation. Yeah.
They're not the same. They've been the same since the second one, haven't they? Pretty much?
The outfits have not changed. Yeah. They're wearing the same outfits they always wear.
Maybe it's just me, or his jacket.
It's that.
I think Shatner's jacket. He's worn that jacket in earlier movies. So,
okay.
So now they're getting this message from the planet that's saying, we're not being held hostage. We like this man who has taken us hostage. This man whose name is Cybok, who they're now laying eyes on for the first time. They're finally getting a look at the bad guy. And guess what? Spock knows who it is. You can tell by that slow zoom in on Leonard Nimoy's concerned face. Like, I know this dude.
He's like, this bitch.
That is kind of what he's about to say, actually.
He's like, I know what you're thinking, Spock. No, it's not Sean Connery.
It's the poor man's Sean Connery.
But he hits way above his weight class for sure.
Not only did they want Sean Connery, one of the place that they are going in this movie is called Sha Ka Ree, and they called it that as a nod to Sean.
Oh my God.
Because they wanted him to be in the movie.
What is this room? I don't remember this room ever.
We've never seen this room before.
And you still are, because it's completely unlit.
They're whiskey.
I actually think they look good in this scene. Like,
yeah.
I like how they came in with their bell bottoms.
Yeah, and silhouetted.
They're sort of weird pantaloon type things.
Yeah.
They're tucked into the boot.
They've had those pants. The pants have been like that since the 60s.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the style. That's just the style of the future, you guys. You just have to get used to it.
We have to look forward to.
Yeah.
And you just need an extra 8 inches of fat at the bottom of your pants.
I'll be happy when we get past skinny jeans, so it's cool.
Yeah. I want to imagine that wheel actually steers the ship, and if Spock like leaned on it, it would like turn suddenly hard.
That would be pretty awesome.
Disconnected.
I love it.
They're like, we're going to the old helm, folks. Transfer all power to the steering wheel.
All power to the steering wheel.
I'm going manual.
Yeah. Then they throw up some solar sails. That would be awesome.
There's a scene in Star Trek Insurrection, which we will see someday, I suppose, where Riker flies the ship with like a video game joystick that comes up out of the floor.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He's like activate manual control, and like this old fashioned like Atari style joystick pops up out of the thing, and he flies the ship with it.
Like you might use for a flight sim. Nice.
Yeah, like an old 80s video game.
Yeah, the women have very sculpted hair. They've gone back to these very sort of set, rigid, helmety hairdos.
They're using the same production team essentially that they've used for most of these movies. So it's not like they brought in a whole different crew just because Shatner was directing. It's the same production designer. It's the same cinematographer that they've used, over the years.
Yeah.
All the corridors in the ship are sets from the Next Generation. So.
Look how garbage that was.
That is really bad.
But these like a cartoon.
But it's interesting because
the special effects in this movie are a disaster because
look great. Yeah.
It was it's almost embarrassing. Considering what the state of special effects were in 1989, which we can talk about when we play the box office game. This was bad even for 1989.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Like you look at Wrath of Khan looks better than this.
Wrath of Khan looks 100 times better.
And it's like less than half the budget.
Yeah.
Of this movie.
It was just a complete failure on just a disastrous failure from the special effects company.
Well, I mean, Shatner was directing. Can you imagine the catering budget if he was at the helm?
Oh man,
they also had to. Yeah, what's that about, man?
Don't play Bill like that. That's not necessary, bro.
Okay. I had to go for the joke. I'm sorry. It's my role.
You're better than that, man.
My nature.
Because of the failure of the special effects department, they had to essentially cut the last 20 minutes of the movie. We'll talk about it when we get to the end, but Shatner had imagined and written into the screenplay a very elaborate special effects heavy action scene to end the movie. And when they got to the end, they had no money left to shoot it, and the special effects company couldn't produce it even if they did, and Paramount wasn't going to give them any money, so they had to completely rewrite the entire the third act of the movie essentially.
That makes a lot of sense.
Which is why the third act of the ending of the movie is sort of a fizzle.
Abrupt.
Yeah. It kind of builds up to a big climax, and then nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
I know he's supposed to be the poor man.
Oh, there she is.
Oh.
So there is what is supposed to be Nichelle Nichols. I don't think it actually is Nichelle Nichols. Maybe it is. I don't know, actually.
At the end, I think it is. I mean, they throw her up pretty close.
At the end, it is, I think. Yeah, for sure.
But at this point in time, I don't know.
It's like Kurt Kleiman. Is it really him?
That for sure is not. I mean...
And the reason for this is...
She's got to distract
Shatner made the movie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the actual answer. The in-story answer has something to do with them needing to distract these guys so they can sneak past them.
Look at the hands on her.
And they're like, "What can we use to distract? What about a pretty lady doing a sexy dance?"
I thought Nichelle Nichols had relationships with Roddenberry, not with Kirk.
She did have. She had an affair with Gene Roddenberry. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, I mean, it's like I don't know. Kirk was directing this movie, so
Who wants to know who she's dancing for?
maybe them all.
I'm sure that Shatner thought that this would be a nice scene for Nichelle Nichols, and that it would give her a chance to do something fun.
Different too.
I don't think there was anything necessarily
Something fun with Franz.
Are we getting halfway through, Sean? Where are we at?
We still got a ways before we're...
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good.
We got probably another 15 minutes or so. I think I've got a pretty good breaking point, if I remember it correctly.
Man, these sets are really nice, though, compared to the special effects of the ship flying sequences. They feel
the practical stuff is pretty good. It's all the
really
digital effects that are terrible.
What do you think of the alien unicorn horses?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell they were you. Oh yes, Hulu.
Okay, so I just Googled, and apparently that was her. They did not use stunt double in that.
Wow,
yeah, that was her dancing.
Yeah,
she looked good.
Job. Yeah, she looked really good. Good job.
I can see the pitch now. Him being like, "I have this great juicy bit for you to do. You're gonna come so sexy, and you're gonna dance around with feathers naked." And she's like, "Are you shooting me? Well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna keep it tight."
Yeah.
She kept it tight.
I think it was more like, "I can't believe that thing you said to me at the bar last night, Bill. You should give me a scene that I want, or I'm going to tell the executives what you did." I think it was more of a blackmail type situation.
Oh man, Spock Vulcan pinched that horse.
He did.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that little bit.
That's cool, yeah.
This movie has its moments.
No, it's got some. Like I said, Shatner went for the parts. He went for the funner, more fun parts of the show, the action pieces and the comedy.
He totally old man karate
This is great.
way
This
through
is
the fight.
hilarious. He's about to get into a fight, a cat fight with.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Bill's got 3 boobs in his back of his head right now.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I would fall asleep.
I should have more.
He's being outwigged.
And he lifts her up over his shoulder and throws her in.
Why do they have that pool of water in the bar? What purpose does that serve?
It's the pool table. It has little floating balls in it. There was a moment earlier in the movie where you saw them playing pool in the pool table.
The pool table.
How hard is it to press someone that heavy over your head and toss them like a rag doll?
If you're William Shatner, nothing could be easier.
He rolled a 20 like you had never believed.
She had hollow cat bones.
Okay. All makes sense. All right. This is disbelief suspended. Oh.
So their plan didn't work. They got captured anyway.
Yeah.
This was probably their plan all along.
This was not their plan.
Sorry, I
man.
It's not one of those.
Our plan all
We
along.
intended to get caught, and we're going to stop you. No, that was not the plan. That was never the plan.
Yeah, this was the religious zealots' plan all along.
Yeah. So what? In case you missed what they were saying during that scene with the steering wheel, Spock was telling them the backstory on Sybok, which is that he was a brilliant scientist. He was a brilliant student, but he believed that Vulcans should not reject emotion the way that Vulcans do, that they should embrace their emotional side. So he sort of split off and became he's kind of a cult leader in a way. And he's sort of a preacher preaching the idea that everyone should embrace their emotions rather than rejecting their emotions.
And he, at this point in time, he's got this weird mind control ability.
He's got a pseudo-Jeebus power
that we don't quite understand, but people seem to start to follow him after he talks to them for a while.
Sort of an abuse of the mind meld.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because he
uses the mind meld for his own purposes.
I love his eyebrows. He's gone heavy with them.
We were making fun of him and calling him the poor man's Sean Connery.
He's amazing.
He's actually really good in this movie.
Yeah.
I like his performance a lot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not as famous as Sean Connery, which leads me to believe that there could have only been one that looked like them. And Sean Connery won.
I don't think he actually looks very much like Sean Connery. He just kind of reminded you of him in that first scene. It doesn't actually look like Sean Connery, I don't think.
There can be only one Highlander reference there?
Yes, it was. Are we ready for an FMK? Yeah. How about the aliens behind poor man Sean Connery?
Or how about the three delegates?
Yeah.
The Klingon, the Romulan, and David Warner.
That's
FMK.
easier, though. I think that's easier.
Yeah, kill the human.
What?
What?
Bang the Klingon.
Oh, yeah.
Marry the Romulan.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Kill
never
the Romulan.
marry a Romulan.
You never would marry a Romulan.
No, you bang the Romulan.
You kill the human. You kill the human. You bang the Romulan, and you marry the Klingon.
Yeah.
No, you kill the Klingon.
Have you no ambition?
This one has really split us. Wow.
The Klingon seems in this early part of the movie to be sort of a washed up old wastoid who used to be famous, but is they talk about how he was a once famous general, but now has kind of become an alcoholic and gone to seed. But he redeems himself. Not to give away a spoiler, but he redeems himself quite nicely in this movie.
I mean, you don't want to marry that though. That's like a 24/7 case of whiskey dick right there.
And Jacob's got to get his.
Yeah, whiskey.
I'm gonna marry the human, fuck the Klingon, kill the Romulan.
I like it.
Bold
That's
choice.
It's wrong, but I'm okay with it.
I'm better with that one than the plan to marry the Romulan.
I don't think I want to be married to a Klingon. I'm curious about them, but I don't want that to be my all the time. I don't think they're emotionally accessible.
Ooh.
And
They're incredibly loyal. They're all about loyalty.
Yeah, but I need a little more.
Yeah,
a little less stone face. But I'm intrigued by them. I have been since day one, so that's why I choose what I choose.
One of these days, when we get to Deep Space Nine, you're going to see Worf meet and fall in love and get married, and it's wonderful. It's one of the best. It's one of the best romantic relationships in all of Star Trek between Worf and the woman he ends up marrying. Someday we'll see it.
When you say when we get to
not any day soon, but someday.
Someday.
Several years now.
We'll be there eventually.
All right.
Time passes. It doesn't actually happen on Deep Space Nine, just during that time period.
No, on Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
Worf
I didn't know Worf
becomes a regular on Deep Space Nine.
Then maybe I'll change my tune, but
When Next Generation ended, man. Worf, Michael Dorn became a cast member on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, playing Worf. Interesting.
Playing Worf. The Worf gets transferred and works on Deep Space Nine.
Becomes,
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because Michael Dorn loves playing Worf.
Yes.
he's great at it.
Yeah.
And when they were like, and he was like, I know the show's over, but what if I went on the other show? And they were like, yeah, okay. We like you, Michael Dorn.
My kids were watching the Santa Claus 3 the other day. And at one point in time, there's like a meeting of the special people. So it's like Santa and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny. And Michael Dorn plays the Sandman.
Oh.
Huh.
It's cool.
Even in fantasy.
Just found that amusing that I was like, oh, Michael Dorn. Cool.
I almost wanted you to say Michael Worf.
You recognized him.
This is a pretty cool little moment here, this little scene.
Whoa.
Here come the Klingons.
Oh, nice. I like this red. Cool. Oh, they're on the shuttle.
Yeah, and they have to get into the ship before the Klingons.
Yeah, so they're flying.
But they misjudged the landing.
Woo!
Yeah. They didn't have time to use the ray, the
tractor beam.
So they had to fly it on their own.
Zulu had to fly it old school style, fighter jet style.
Video game style.
Video game style.
Oh
no!
Foiled. Yeah.
Up Periscope.
Yeah. They missed.
I want to imagine that they're in what their heavy metal band name is. I don't know. It's gotta be good. I would love to go see one of their shows.
It's got to be in Klingon, so.
There is a Star Trek themed punk band that I follow on Twitter. They just put out their first album. So it's, these things exist.
Yeah.
I think they're called Boldly Go. I think that's the name of their band.
Oh yeah, Boldly Go Band? Yeah, I follow them. They're cool.
They're very funny. All of their songs are about Star Trek.
Oh no.
It's a niche.
And covers. Excellent covers.
Do they Star Trek covers? Like switch the words and stuff?
I don't know.
That'd be.
I've never actually listened to any of their music, so I don't actually know what it sounds like, but I just know that they exist. They have a very amusing Twitter feed.
Data and Geordie. Yeah? That'd be a fun one.
Do they sing about all levels of Star Trek? Yeah.
Oh,
just throwing them around.
Yeah.
Look at this awesome action scene. Don't you wish you could see it?
They took it's their homage to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So now it's like Spock gonna shoot this guy or what?
He's got the marshmallow gun.
Yeah, they've had 2 conversations about this guy already, but he hasn't mentioned that he's his half brother.
He hasn't mentioned the big secret yet.
Oh.
It's meant to be a big reveal.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, why isn't Spock helping Jim? Why is this guy?
That gun has no stun setting? It's just kill.
It was a rock gun. It shot like rocks or something.
So I think we should probably pause after this scene is over.
Sure.
That's about halfway through.
That's good. I need to get another drink.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So somehow, and really easily, kind of when you think about it, Sybok has taken control of the ship.
Yep.
Yeah. And he just
shows up.
So Kirk's pissed because Spock didn't protect the ship.
And Sybok is surprised because Spock is siding with Kirk instead of him.
Right.
And
off they go to jail.
They go
Space
to
jail.
Enterprise
Great.
jail.
This would be a great set for a rave right here. Yes, or a music. Has Star Trek done a musical ever?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. It's ripe for the taking right there. Is that another caress? No, she's caressing herself.
So what's about to happen is he's going to use his Vulcan mind melody powers and kind of brainwash them in a way to being on his side and betraying the, Kirk and this gang.
So I'm going to pause it right now.
54:30.
54:30, everybody.
Yay!
Well, that's the first half of Star Trek V. What did everybody think?
It's a lot going on. A lot of twists and turns.
And they haven't even mentioned why Cybok is doing all of this. We're halfway through the movie, and the reasons have not been established yet.
Yeah.
Where's God? I thought we were supposed to search for God.
He's coming. Hold your horses for the big
third
reveal.
act surprise.
Wait till you see him.
It's been 15 minutes. Why haven't we found God yet?
Yeah, right. Kevin Smith got there much faster.
You've never been as underwhelmed as you will be when you see God in this movie.
This was a labor of love.
Yeah.
Watching it is like childbirth.
I will defend this movie. I like this movie.
It's fun to watch like this for sure. I'm enjoying it.
I watched it for real.
I love it in the way that you would love like your dumbest child. You know what I mean? Like,
it's fun and goofy.
It's not perfect, but there is something charming and lovable.
Is that why the Queen's favorite is Andrew, according to the Crown?
Wow.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. I didn't know that, but sure.
It's a part of the Crown this season.
I'm still catching up on the Crown. Stan and I have been watching it, but we just finished season 2.
Oh.
So we're about to get the cast change.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Not that the first cast wasn't good, but it'll be cool to see how they handle the time jump.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm enjoying it. We've been watching it. We've been kind of binging our way through it the last couple weeks. So we'll be caught up soon.
Sweet. Well, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
And I'll understand your reference.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was Star Trek V Part 1.
So anyway, I think this movie is fun. It is
fun.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's good. And when we come back next week, I will tell you about William Shatner's book that he wrote about the making of this movie.
Yeah.
And some of his explanations for
all right.
what this movie ultimately ended up
And like a good director and leader, he takes full responsibility.
Well, you might think that.
That's a thought that came into your mind.
But that's what we call a teaser. You'll have to tune into next week's episode to hear the
let's get to next week's episode as quickly as possible. Sign us out, Matt.
Thank you very much for listening to Warped. You can follow us on iTunes or get our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Host Warped. You can follow me at Host. No, you can follow the show at Warped Trek and me at Host Warped. You can follow Min to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts and live streams at Wet Maynard. On Instagram, we are at Warped Podcast.
The podcast.
And our merch can be found on Instagram at lunar_flare. You can also go to Patreon, become a subscriber, get access to bonus content and additional episodes.
And you can email us at warpthepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything interesting you want to say to us.
That's right. Or offensive.
That email.
What's that?
My grievances there later.
I think they do. We would if people wrote us more.
Or at all.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. My name is Sean.
Matt is somewhere.
I said my name is Matt.
Oh, I
we
didn't
can hear you.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
Minwin.
And I'm A.
Good night, everybody.